All right, welcome back. Tolbert and Copes here on a Wednesday. John Dickinson in for Adam Copeland. Tom Tolbert here as always. Let's get out to the UMA guest line, and it's a pleasure to welcome back and be joined by Larry Krueger, who is going to be the host of Niners Nightly, which premieres right here on September 2nd from 6 to 7 p.m. Krug, what's going on, man? Double dose of you for me today, being out at training camp a little bit earlier before heading to the studio. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, long time no see, JD. Seriously. Tommy, good to talk to you.
How many times did you boomerang back to this place now?
This is stint number 3. And really it all came about because a buddy invited me to a barbecue a few weeks ago, and he gave me a Pliny. And it reminded me that you owed me 29 of them.
Oh, 29? Wait. Wait, 29? What cases are you drinking? Yeah, give me a 29 pack.
This was a bet on a total over under that ran out of control. And I figured the only chance I'd ever get a chance for those Plinies, and they're so good, and you turned me on to them, was to come back to the leader. So that I returned for my beer.
Okay, yeah, you got it. I do owe you those beers. I feel like Larry's left and come back so many times. There's a Liz Taylor joke in there somewhere. I just can't figure it out right away. But it is good to have you back. I was happy that you were coming back. We're going to have you on once a week, and you'll be doing Niner coverage. That's pretty damn cool.
Well, Marty said I'm the Billy Martin of KMBR. I said, Marty, come on.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, let's ask you the perfunctory Aiyuk question and get that out of the way, because I'm about all talked out on this. I'm sure you're all talked out on it as well. But where do you come down on this? And I've said, Krug, like, I can't really tell you exactly where I come down because I don't know what he's asking for. I don't know what the Niners are offering. Like, unless I know those two components, it's hard for me to tell who I would side with in this situation. But just give us a little thumbnail sketch overview on this situation and not where it is, because we know where it is right now, but kind of how you feel about it.
Well, the two sides seem really close, and I think Brandon has a sincere interest in remaining a 49er. His grandmother's a lifelong 49er fan. He's got all these pictures of himself as a little kid in 49er gear. I just think it means more to him than maybe he's letting on. Mm-hmm. As far as the thumbnail sketch on it, if I got to side with one side here, and I hate doing that in a business situation, but if I had to, I would side with Aiyuk. And I really would. Here's why. Because I just feel like this guy's a legitimate tough guy. He's a legitimate team guy. He doesn't hold court at his locker if he doesn't get the ball. He's very team-oriented. He blocks like crazy in the run game. And there are like multiple things, including the pace the Niners play and how often they pass as opposed to run, and all the weapons they have. There are things that are suppressing his numbers. And I just think, to be totally intellectually honest about the situation, I think you gotta if his numbers are close, I think you gotta give him the benefit of the doubt and pay him, and his numbers are close, and I think he deserves the benefit of the doubt. I think he's the perfect wide receiver for a run-oriented scheme, and so I don't think he should leave. I think his best chance to win a Super Bowl's here, and I hope they work it out.
Yeah, I think I always felt like give him around what Amon-Ra St. Brown got. Like, I think that's the group that he's in. Like, I don't think he's Chase. He's not Jefferson. He's not Tyreek Hill. Maybe not even Devontae Adams. But he's right in that next group where I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is as well. And I said if his contract's right around what Brown was, then that would make sense to me. If it's a lot lower, that wouldn't make sense. If he's asking for more, that wouldn't make sense. So once this thing gets done, one way or the other, we will find out. Trent Williams, I just kind of assumed that one's going to get done one way or the other because that would be a bigger loss than losing Aiyuk. Do you feel the same way? Is there any trepidation as to whether this thing will get done or it'll get done? It's just a matter of when and how much.
Well, you guys know, I mean, Trent always is going to hold the leverage because of who he is within the game. I mean, he's the best left tackle in the game. And if he's, now Wirf's got 28. and he's at, he's 5 million less than that. I think Wirfs might have got 28.5. So, I mean, the Niners are going to have to come up with some more money. All the guaranteed money on Trent Steele is gone.
Yep.
I mean, you could, we could always hardline it and say, honor what you signed, and he signed the deal. But this is modern NFL. He's the best player in the sport at a very crucial position. I think they're just going to figure out a way to give him some more money. There isn't a sense that it's acrimonious, but there is a sense that he means business and that they're probably going to have to give him some guaranteed dollars to get him back in uniform.
Krug, what's your overall takeaway just in terms of the energy at training camp this year as opposed to other years? I mean, I've been out there, and they've just had so many guys out and almost a rotation of vet day guys to where I've found it the most difficult camp that I've covered really in the Shanahan era, and I've been out there for all of them, to really glean a lot from. The energy seems like it's a little bit off. I don't know how much of it is 71 and 11 not being out there or the slow build, but it felt like it was ramping to this week, and now with the Saints, and now they can't even do that. Just give me your thoughts on the overall just energy level of camp with a team that's got so much at stake this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, JD, because, a lot of the people that I trust their opinions are like, it's kind of a weird vibe this summer. And it has been a weird vibe. I'd say it's been kind of a low energy vibe, but you see that in pro sports when you take the most athletic, dynamic athletes and you put them on the sideline. And that's what Aiyuk represents in a lot of ways. So with him not out there, you don't have him skying for balls in the middle of the field. And, he's the most dynamic athlete in a lot of ways on the offensive side. And I think they've missed him. But there is also a vibe that, and I think, once you've played in the Super Bowl and you're making a regular trip to the conference title game, I think you get it revved up a little slower than teams that don't have that on their resume. So I wouldn't be overly concerned. I don't think, it's not like this season's lost or anything real has been defined yet. There's kind of a low energy vibe, a little low, guys are getting through it. Let's just say that. And they couldn't even get through the practices, the joint practices this week because of the injuries. They're really dinged up. Shanahan admitted, though, in past years, maybe guys would have played with these dings. Instead, now they're being extra cautious.
Is the rookie Dominic Puni going to have a chance to start on this offensive line? From what I've read, he's looked really good, and I know they got some guys ahead of him, but where's he been? Where is he second string on the depth chart, and do you think he'll have a chance at all?
Tom, he's running with the ones.
Oh, is he? Well, there you go.
Yeah, he's running with the ones, and Shanahan was asked about, how likely is it that Puni will be able to start? And he's like, well, hey, man, if you're running with the ones, you essentially are the current starter. So Feliciano's been dinged up. Burford, as you know, broke the hand. Burford's going to miss like 3 to 4 weeks. I think Puni's got a chance to just take that job and run with it. I mean, Forster throws around, compliments like manhole covers, and he called him awesome the other day. He's really, really tenacious. He likes to get after it. That's what you like to see in a right guard. A guy who really wants to get after it. He's shown. You saw it in the game against the Titans where he kind of pushed Mason into the end zone. He's a big physical run blocker who kind of has a big attitude about it. So I think he might be exactly what they need right now at right guard.
Do we need to see Brock Purdy play on Sunday? I know Kyle typically will have it be determined by the joint practices in a week where there are joint practices. Well, they're not having the joint practices. So do we need to see Brock Purdy play? We saw, Mahomes and Lawrence and Allen and Burrow and Caleb Williams and, a bunch of these big-time guys play. Do you think we need to see Brock Purdy out there?
It's a really, really interesting debate, right? Because you do have a quarterback that's young, and young quarterbacks can always use field time and reps, and they can always get better. On the other hand, you got a guy who's very polished, and he's a little bit undersized, and they just added a game to the season, and it's a long year, and you're coming off a long year, and you're planning on playing a long year. It's a judgment call, JD. But you know what? I think if I were Shanahan and I would guess along with him, I think I'd sit him. I'd sit him another game. I don't really think you have to get anything out of him. He's getting a lot of practice reps with the ones. I think you could use this game to evaluate the other three guys and get him tuned up in that final game. But the way things have gone with the revamped 3 instead of 4 preseason games, this game is the game that they kind of usually play the most of their starters, the greatest amount of time. So maybe that means he'll play a lot in this game and not at all in the next game. I think he'll play in one of 2. How about that?
Have any updates on Hufanga?
He's still aiming to be back for week 1, Tom. I mean,
okay.
There was talk that if the Niners and Saints practice together later this week, he was gearing up to get back for those joint practices. I don't know if that means for sure he'll be back on the practice field in Santa Clara on Thursday and Friday, but he's aiming for week 1, and from what I hear, he's on schedule.
And any chance we can get some of the young receivers on the field? Can Cowan get on the field? Can Pearsall get on the field? Like, it'd be nice to see these guys out there. Or maybe they are out there.
Well, Pearsall has been dinged up with he's been wearing the blue jersey, the non-contact jersey a lot this summer, and he wasn't out there today. Cowing was out there today.
Oh, okay.
Cowing's really interesting. I mean, you saw him at Arizona,
yep.
And then before that, he was at UTEP.
Yep.
He came out one day, and he looked awesome. He's making catches down the field. He looks amazing. Then he comes up with the hamstring pull, and he looked like he was kind of slow to return from it. He looked better today. He's ramping up. I think he knows he needs to put some good plays on film as a 4th-round pick to make the team. But I expect he's going to show something in these next 2 preseason games because the ball skills, the route running, and the 4.3 speed, it's a good – Purdy likes how he separates down the field, and I think Purdy could make a lot of plays with him.
You're listening to KMBR AM and KMBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader. It is Tolbert and Copes here on a Wednesday. JD in for Adam Copeland. Larry Krueger joining us here on the sports leader as well. Larry, let us know about Niners Nightly, which is going to debut on Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd, from 6 to 7 here on KMBR.
Well, we're going to talk Niners every night, and, I'll be down at camp every day. So I'll be, in the locker room, during the media availability. We'll pull some guys aside down there. So we'll have a lot of the most fresh, newest sound from training camp every day, or from Niner camp. Training camp officially, I guess, has already ended. And we'll have, top guests. We'll take calls, we'll mix it up. We'll do something different every night, but we'll talk 49ers. We'll look ahead. We'll talk to some of the out of town media people. The whole thing will be on, of course, KMBR 680 and 104.5, as well as all the social media, the YouTube channels and everything. So it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's just a way to, talk Niners for a solid hour, and probably every Monday, I think we're going to devote to, the fans giving their feedback and make it interactive and let people, kind of like the precursor to Sports Phone that night.
Great to have you back, Krug. It's great to talk to you. I guess I have to get on getting those beers for you, huh? The 29-pack.
Beers, Tom. You don't owe me the beers, man.
Yeah, I do.
We
Damn right I do.
Well, you owe them to me, damn it, but you don't have to pay me.
You know what? I'm not going to welsh on a beer bet, Krug. I'll get you those beers. I know where to pick up some Pliny. I have friends in high places, and I'll get those for you. And we'll crack one together. Just do me a favor. Don't wear the thongs, okay?
Oh my God! And if anybody who knows me heard that, they said, "What the hell's going on here?" By the way, I came back for 2 reasons. The Pliny, I mean, JD is a good friend too, but the Pliny and maybe Hapuna Beach, Tom. I could see myself back on Puna Beach.
Fantastic.
So dream the dream.
Tell the family I said hi. We'll look forward to seeing you soon, Krug.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
See you, Krug. We'll see you out at Artie's Countrywood Lounge in the creek. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, Larry Krueger joining us here on the Sports Leader. Good to have Larry back for sure.